Carter, you know how roughly 4.5 years ago, specifically, this would have been 51 months ago, you were supposed to come meet me for golf. And then you told me that you couldn't because Meg was out of town and you had to watch your dog.
Hmm.
And I was like, damn, that stinks. Okay, guess I can't golf today. And then the next morning, I received a Snapchat from a different friend of ours who you went golfing with during the
Hmm.
window you said you were going to golf with me. Do you remember that 51 months
I
ago?
vividly. And honestly, worst part about our friendship, there's more stories that I'm proud to admit that went somewhat like that.
You're proud of them?
So I'm not proud to admit. Um, I used to be proud of it, which was honestly the big problem with me, but I've really grown in that 51 months.
Yeah, I mean, 51 months ago was the day that I finally confronted you for just lying, being a conniving little weaselly friend. When you could have just said, "Hey, I'm going to golf with these guys instead." And I would have been like, "That's cool, cool. I'll do something else with my day." Anyways, moving on here. The reason I'm asking you this is because I was hoping that you would maybe admit to lying about a reason you weren't able to do something. That's your expertise. I think you are a subject matter expert in 32 years on this planet in addressing people coming up with excuses that might not be real to get out of doing things. The reason we're doing this on a college basketball channel, we have allegations of a fake injury, a fake excuse here. And you could probably guess who we're talking about based on some rumors from the last year here. Sencire Harris seems to be accusing former teammate Tucker DeVries of not being hurt. Now, I'm going to do my best to do due diligence and set the table as broadly as I can here. This is not my personal view of any of this. I have heard this rumor in the last year. It's definitely been a rumor that has been loud behind the scenes in the world of college basketball that Tucker DeVries's quote unquote season ending injury last year was something that he either could have played through or returned from, but chose not to, in part because he knew that he could have one more year of eligibility with his dad at a new school. That's the quote unquote, I don't want to call it an allegation, but the accusation, right? Sort of if you want to even be open to the idea of this rumor, you would have to at least be open to the premise that the DeVries family had conversations about leaving after just 1 year at West Virginia so that Tucker could come with and keep playing. That's the reason you wouldn't return from injury. Well, we've not ever heard anyone discuss this publicly, as far as I know. It's just been total behind the scenes internet message board rumor stuff. Until yesterday, when on an Instagram live, Sencire Harris, who was on West Virginia with Tucker DeVries last
It
year,
was sincere.
it was Sencire Harris.
I had Amani Hansberry plus 500 on call sheet to be the one to actually do this, and now I'm cooked. So there's 25 down the drain.
It was Sencire Harris, former Illinois Fighting Illini, former Real Housewife of Champaign, who went to Morgantown with Tucker DeVries. Anyways, Sencire Harris appears to be, for lack of a better way to describe what I'm seeing on this Instagram live, Sencire Harris appears to be in bed with his girl, just on IG Live taking questions. And all of the sudden, one of the questions comes through, and it is, quote, was Tucker DeVries actually hurt? To which Sencire Harris, after a few moments, says, no, he wasn't actually hurt. That's all we get. But this is officially a West Virginia teammate of Tucker DeVries's going on record saying, no, Tucker DeVries was not hurt last season. This would be sizable news if it's true. It could also just be sour grapes. We don't know. What's your interpretation of this entire situation?
I hope it's true because I like the players on my basketball team to be aware and smart, especially if they're some of the best players on my team. And that's what Tucker DeVries is. And like the one question I have about this is, was it to sit out and get another year? Because like, okay, here's the way I'm trying to work this. If DeVries doesn't leave and stays at West Virginia, Tucker's probably at West Virginia again playing.
Well, you got to pair this message board rumor with another message board rumor.
Yeah, what if I want to pair them together?
Pairing them together would imply that you buy that Darren DeVries silently knew he was leaving for Indiana before Tucker ruled
Ooh,
himself out, which was another rumor.
yeah. Well, I'm glad that Sincere confirmed what we all knew, allegedly. And to be honest with you, coming from where I'm coming from on this, it was the right choice.
Yeah, okay. That's a hard choice to call the right choice, I think.
Not the right choice, but
This
I
might
look
be
at it
your
like
old
this.
ways reverting back here a little.
No, I think this happens more often than anyone even wants to admit. I think that in the history of basketball, there are players that could play if they really wanted to, but are choosing not to given reason XYZ. I think that happens all the time in basketball. And in this case, in this scenario, if I was given the option to go one way or the other and given the option that Tucker was given, I honestly I would have milked it more. I would have been on crutches and or wheelchair to every single West Virginia game.
Okay.
And yes, that's probably bad and disrespectful to the game, but at the same time, like lay everything out there, extra year of eligibility, go play in the Big Ten with my pops, go play at Indiana with all due respect to West Virginia basketball. And you add in this last caveat. I'm about to waste my last year of eligibility and put my health on the line to fight for the NIT or the CBI. Now maybe he plays and he gets them over the hump because they were a team that was very much on the bubble. A lot of people believe they should have made it. But I don't know. I don't see this as that big of a deal, and maybe that's a character flaw.
Okay, so I can see every side of this. I really can. A couple just, I guess, notes I would like to add mentally to my interpretation of this. You said West Virginia was like a bubble team. Were you saying they were a bubble team with Tucker DeVries or without or add it all together? Like, how did you view last year's West Virginia team?
Last year's West Virginia, like what Javon Small was good.
Well, I mean, like in the frame of the NCAA tournament, you called them a bubble team. Is that without Tucker, they're a bubble team? With Tucker, they're a bubble team? Add like all of it together, they're a bubble
I
team.
was just saying what they were last year without Tucker. They were a bubble team.
Okay, here's where I think I disagree with you slightly. They were 6-2 with wins over Gonzaga and Arizona when Tucker DeVries played.
Mm,
If Tucker DeVries played with Javon Small last year on that team, they're a tournament team. They ended up a bubble team because Tucker DeVries opted out of the season for a surgery, is what we were told.
mm.
So again, like the hard part for me, I can understand why Sincere or any teammate would be resentful if either one, this is what happened, or two, this is what they think happened, even if it's not what happened. Like if you're a player on West Virginia that was a teammate of Tucker's,
Oh, this confirms it though. It happened.
Dion, how's your job going?
Beginning of the school year, everything's like a little up and down. One of the biggest issues we've had is we can't find any uniforms for our girls' sports teams.
Hmm. That's a difficult thing to find a solution for. I know damn well all about that because I got a daughter that just turned 2. She's into sports and she's already outgrowing every little piece of sports apparel she had. Thankfully, I know Clara Kate Creations. Clara Kate Creations was started by a former high school teacher who quit because it wasn't cost effective to send new twins and a 2-year-old to daycare. She found it easier to make girls sports apparel than finding it to buy. And I am so thankful that she exists because if we have an old shirt of Murph's that she's outgrown, we can send it in and she takes that piece of apparel that means something and upcycles it into an outfit that Murphy can now wear as she grows up. She makes great stuff. It's honestly kind of like your fullback's wife, Kyle Juszczyk. Is that how you say it? She does that. But honestly, I think Clara Kate's coming for Mrs. Juszczyk's job.
I love that. I'm a big Juice guy. Love his wife. Love Claire Kate even more than both of them, though.
You can send in your own custom ideas and she will come up with a design. She's just the best. Look up Clara Kate Creations on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and more. Well, the part of that that's confusing for me, aren't there surgical records? Like, did he have a surgery or not?
The thing is, he probably had a surgery, but we have seen in cases where guys are like, I mean, I can't go.
But it says he had a surgery in February. He suffered a season-ending left shoulder injury in February, which led to a medical red shirt. So, but he didn't play since the end of November. So I just have some timeline muddiness on this, which again, I'm not trying to say I believe one side or the other, but it feels like if this was actually not a real injury, that wouldn't be that hard to find record of.
Here's the thing though. Sometimes you're like, let's see what happens. Let's not go to surgery right away. Let's rehab it. Let's do this. Let's take some other steps before we get to the last decision, which is the finality of surgery.
Right, but if it was a fake injury, what do you need surgery for? So that part all makes sense to me. He stops playing
Because
in
because
November.
because I think this is where Sincere is coming from. Maybe it's not the fake injury. He could have played if he wanted. It might have been uncomfortable. It might have been, he's only 80% of himself, but he could have played.
Well, that's a totally different thing. Like, oh, my guy could have played through injury
Right.
for
He
me.
didn't fake it. He was injured. He was injured.
Okay, because to me, Sincere saying no, he wasn't injured means he wasn't injured, and this is a fake injury. Maybe I'm extrapolating something Sincere doesn't mean. But like if he had a surgery, he was pretty clearly at least like he needed surgery, right? You don't just have a surgery so you can get a fake medical red shirt, do you?
No.
So like that's the hard part for me where I actually would lean more than anything this is just sour grapes. Now, at the same time, I think it's totally fair to have sour grapes. Like if I'm a West Virginia teammate who, by the way, it's not just Tucker who quit on me, right? It's Pops. Like if I'm Sincere Harris and I'm at West Virginia,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Sincere should be mad because at Meatloaf Mondays at the DeVries household, he's like, "Hey, just so you know, I'm saying my agent's been hearing from this person, this person. How's your shoulder feeling? Maybe you knock him over when he gets up from the dinner table, hit him in the shoulder a little bit, and in the back of his head too, it's like, so you're saying I could the Mountaineer Bucks already cashed too, by the way. Mountaineer monies are in, so I'm good. So I can medical redshirt this year and get paid again next year in what might be my last biggest paycheck as a basketball player because I don't really believe in Tucker DeVries NBA circles.
sure. Okay. Can I float something to you? Because I think you and I are in agreement that even if this accusation is accurate, not saying it is or is not, I have no idea the extent of this. I don't know if I believe this, and I'm not going to make a decision on it. But if what's Sincere saying is what happened, Tucker wasn't hurt, opt out of the season anyway, so that he could get a medical red shirt and go to Indiana. You said that you believe that's the right move. Do I have that right?
By Tucker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree with you that like it's a logical decision, albeit a selfish one, right? It's a selfish one, but sometimes you got to be selfish. So
Mm.
I have no issue with that. Here's what I would ask you. Isn't there a better way to do that than whatever the DeVries family did here? Because I think his dad had a part in this. If this is what Tucker did, I can't imagine Tucker did this on his own.
I don't know what the better path is.
Well, there's a guy who's doing something similar right now in college basketball that I think is doing it a lot more respectfully.
What?
Caden Pierce. And I don't even love that move, but Caden Pierce basically went to his team at Princeton and said, "Hey, I'm opting out of this season. Let's announce that publicly. I'm going to save my last eligibility and enter the portal." Okay. Like that's a lot of people probably don't like that decision, but it's transparent. It's honest. Like if this was what Tucker wanted to do, and Sincere's being accurate about this, I don't know if he is or is not, but if it was, if this was like, you know what, I'm gonna save my last year. That cool with you, Dad? And Dad's like, yep, just sign the papers. Then couldn't Tucker have just said it? Couldn't Tucker have just said, hey, I am opting out of the rest of the season rather than trying to play through injury?
See, for me, I don't think it was just such a for sure thing that his pops was going to get another job.
So you don't buy the second rumor of this, which is that Indiana had him and there was
I
a
don't.
verbal agreement.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
Why don't you buy that? That feels like the easier part to buy for me.
Because
Because
I
if
consider
Tucker if Tucker thought this was where his dad was going to be, I think he tries to grind it out and play.
no, 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 no. See, I think even if he thinks his dad's going to be there, I got one more year of paychecks coming in. Preserve the year.
Are West Virginia paychecks Indiana paychecks though? Respectfully,
They honestly they could be on par. And I'd like to redo my Big Ten rankings if Indiana's goal here, like they tampered, and at the top of the tamper list was Darren DeVries.
I mean that's pretty clearly what happened, but it's not tampering. The top of their tamper list was Dusty. That's why
Mm,
Dusty signed an extension 45 minutes before the Michigan State game. Thank you, Bloomington. Like that's they were trying to get Dusty, they didn't get Dusty, and then they immediately pivoted to Darren, I believe.
that's probably I don't know.
But that was in February. That was right around when Tucker had suspicious season-ending shoulder surgery.
Yeah, there's also bigger things to talk about here, in my opinion. Why are sour grapes such a negative term? I like sour grapes.
You would like sour grapes. Is the real takeaway here that you can take the housewife out of champagne, but you can't take the champagne out of the housewife?
I mean, this is a Go IG Live,
For
and
8 people, by the way. For
yeah,
eight.
and like honestly, sick we didn't get in there. We probably could have got some good Illinois information.
So I texted Dion because Dion is a West Virginia fan, West Virginia alum, and I sent him this tweet of the screen recording of this. And this is Dion's word for word response to me. State of my program. 9 viewer IG live got us in absolute hell. I'm sick. I want Indiana investigated between Tuck and Fernando. All I have is Quavo performing at Sac State.
What a read.
I mean, a 9 viewer Instagram live has West Virginia basketball by the throat right now.
Freedom boys, man.
Tough times.